How to Save a World, a competitive game of averting calamity from Bird Island Games. There is your design team and such. 1 to 4 players, 14 and up to 30 minutes per player. So here's all the contents. Items in green are Kickstarter additions or upgrades. So again, we do have the Kickstarter version, as you can see right here. And all that stuff is special. 3 plans to save the planet: build a laser, raise a shield, complete the evac. What are you going to do? Well, what I am going to do is show you the stuff that is inside of this box. If you're more interested in how this game plays, I'll have a link to our how to play right around here. Alrighty, see you after the break. Alrighty, so let's get this lid off. So first thing we are going to start with is, of course, a rule book. The asteroid approaches, so here is all the backstory for the game. Then you have how to win. There's all that information again. Here are the multitude of components, the general setup, and your player setup. Each player does this. And then a long table layout. So here's your gameplay, what you can do on your turns, what the different zones mean, the actions that you're able to take, working on a project, research, gaining upgrades, buy a card, boosts the progress phase, round start, the arrival, final scoring, and your credits. Next up, you have the board action guide, the tech lab guide, and the facility guide. Here's all the other line of Bird Island games in KTPG. And then this shows you how everything goes in the insert. Will say I'm not a huge fan of the insert. I'll kind of point that out why as we go through the stuff. Next up, we have the Simu solo mode rules. I do plan on doing a solo mode of this. I'll try to remember to include a link up above when it goes live. I may have the link there, and if you click it, it's not live yet. It will be soon, but that is the solo mode for this with the 2 sides right there. So we're going to get into, so this is what the asteroid would normally look like. This is the punchboard asteroid, and then the upgraded one is this thick acrylic one with the little stand that you're going to move around on the board. So that's the upgraded comet asteroid, however you want to say it. Here is the first player marker. This is the upgraded one too. It's metal, enamel, one of the two. I do have the punchboard one. I will show you that here in a little bit. Next up, so these are the discs that will be getting put on the board based on a 2 or 3 player game. That How to Play is going to show you all about these, but these are those discs. Let's next go to the bag of cubes. So these are the different cubes that will be getting added to the bag. I'm just going to kind of spread out some so you can see the colors, but there are a lot of cubes in this bag. You'll see you have black ones. These are for the asteroid. Green is for the evac. Pink is for the laser. And blue is for the shields. You're basically going to be putting cubes in the bag and pulling to see what happens when and how it goes about. All right, so the next part. So again, this is one of the issues I have. Like, you're putting all these tokens in this really deep well. It is a little annoying to try and dig them out. I'm probably going to end up putting them in a plastic bag. I'll make it a little bit easier, but it is kind of just, having to really dig in there, making sure you get everything. All right, so first off, this is that punchboard first player marker. You then have your threat markers. They go from 3 to 8. These are going to be dictating how many cubes you're going to be pulling from the bag. And then right here, you have your rewards for working on the different projects. So you have your ones for the evac, and you'll see they have a 1, a 2, and a 3, and they get progressively better. So then here are your laser ones, and then your shield ones. 1, 2, and 3. So drop those in there. So now, as you can see, we have trays for the 4 different player colors. We'll step that off to the side. There's no green, so I think instead I am going to show you yellow, because that's the other color I've been playing when we play this game. So a lot of these are the upgraded bits from the retail edition. I'm pretty sure this shows. So normally you would just have the plain resource markers and the plain ships, but they're going to be upgraded here. and the player trays are bonuses, etc. So you do have your resource markers right up here. As you can see, they have the little resource symbols on them to help you know where they go on your board. These are going to be your tech cubes. You're going to be using these as you unlock the technology on your board. These markers here, you're going to have one for your score marker, and then each one of these is going to mark where you are going or how much you've done on the track for the various different tracks, the different projects. These are your shuttle landers. These are basically going to be your workers as you put the worker placements out. And then these little guys here are for one of the expansion. These are extra little ships that you'd be using, etc. And then they're hard to see, but right here you have, these are your baselines. That'll be going on your player board as well. And you have the 5 of them. So again, let me get those guys small. Pop that on top. All right, next up, we're going to have the main board. So we'll start off over here. Here you have the moon, and you have the different locations. You have a score track around here. This is the path the asteroid comes on. This is where you're going to be adding new locations, facilities, A's and B's. This shows you your express shuttle to get to the planet. The planet, if I remember, it's right, Alaria. There's your locations there. And then these are the tracks that you'll be keeping track of how well you've gone along these for the laser, the shield, and the evacuation, what you need to spend. These are points. This lets you discard the bonuses you get, which are placed at the end. Alrighty, now we have the player boards. So these player boards you'll see have the different names of the companies in the different colors. So you have the Preserve, the Phoenix Foundation, the Artemis Alliance, and the Aegis Star. These are double layered. So your baseline would just go across here and move up. The little start symbol shows you where your resources start. As I said, they have the symbols on them so you know which column they go into. These are your tech upgrades. So these little recesses here are where those cubes would go. And these are where your tags go as you get them. And there's the back. So again, those are the 4 player boards. Next up, we are going to have the progress board. This is as you pull the cubes from the bag. If based on the color, this is where you're going to put them. This is going to determine if you're going to start the end of the game. This is going to determine if they're successful. And this is end game scoring on there. And then you got the cool artwork on the back. Alrighty, so next up, let's go ahead and go with the locations. So these are other locations that you'll be unlocking throughout the game to be able to play. So you have a few different A's. And then you go into your B's. And there are those. And then we are going to get into my next issue with the way that they have these trays, this tray laid out. And that is how you have to kind of just stack these up. I tried throwing them in there. So like if I put them in a baggie, would that work? It wouldn't, because it fills up too much and then you can't really put the stuff above it. So I'm not going to dig these out too much because as you can see, they're stacked in there. But these are those tags that go on your player's board. You have the 3 different types. I believe it's Science, Earth, or Science, Planet, Moon, Science, Alara, Moon, Knowledge, Science, Moon, something to that effect. Before we get into these cards, let's go ahead and get into the mini expansions. We have not played with these just yet. We have just been basically playing the other one. So you have the very first one, which is the Quiblet Stampede. You may not play or buy species, or let's see, the Crisis expansion. So that's what those little markers are for. So you shuffle the Crisis deck, keep it face down, give each player the 4 pods in their color. So this will do other various things. Apparently it gives you crises where bad things possibly happen, so makes the game harder, which I don't know if we'll play with that one then. We're not a big fan of making games harder. We enjoy them. And then you have the lab extension. So adds a set of potential upgrades to your tech lab. So apparently this is new upgrades that you can do for your board. Do they go? As part of your regular tech lab, it includes 4 tech ones. So basically you just put this on the side of your board and you have more tech options. That one we may do. I like the sound of that one. So there is there's the 2 mini expansions. So let's go ahead and move into the decks of cards. We'll start with this far right one first. So this one has your starting cards. So each person's going to get a boost. Those are all the same. And then you're going to shuffle up and each person's going to get a random action card. There's 2 for the laser, 2 for the shields, and 2 for the evac. There are 2 player aids that show the arrival, the progress phase, and the round start. And then here are those solo players cards for Simu. There we go. And then the backs of them actually kind of give you an idea of what they're about to do. Alrighty, so let's get into the rest of the cards. So first we are going to start with the action cards. You know they're action cards because they're yellow on the back, show the action symbol. This shows you how much you have to spend. You basically have to spend a resource per amount of cards total in your hand and discard pile. And these all have a varying effect, but these are ones that you'll do as an action by spending the energy that's depicted there. And as you can see, that one's got a lot of words. But a lot of times it's going to be raising stuff or working on projects or basically just trying to help improve the way the game is going for you. And that is the main purpose of the action cards, is to give you extra actions as long as you have the required amount of energy to play them, which is the 1. Next up, we have species cards. Species cards are going to give you endgame points for a certain thing. And then if you look over here, they do have tags, which is relevant for gameplay, which if you watch the How to Play, you'll understand all about that. The really cool thing, too, is all of these different species with some background info on them is written on around the edge of the box. You can kind of see it right there. So if you are interested in these different critters of the world that is here, then you can read all about it on that box. Just a seagull somehow. So a lot of different scoring options. Again, this would be all end game scoring, and throughout the game you're going to use it for its tags. The final cards that we have are the boost cards. The boost card you're going to be able to play once something happens. So play after you collect a resource, then you'll play this down and this, and then they also have tags. So these basically improve things for you when you do an action to help basically make an action more powerful or better for you in general. So here are all of those boost cards in this box here. And that is what is inside How to Save a World. Why is that not going? Maybe you got it shoved down. There we go. So again, that's everything that's in here. Hope you enjoyed. Hope you'll head down below and hit like, subscribe, comment, share, and ring the bell. All that is appreciated. If you are in the market for new games, I would suggest checking out Miniature Market. We have a link down below that if you use that link and purchase games, we do get a portion of those proceeds back to help fund this channel that you're watching now. And that is always appreciated. So once I get done unboxing this, I will have my farewell said to you. So that goes in there. This goes back under into here. And then then that on top, like so. I can get the bag down there more. Oh, almost forgot my discs. Those go under there. But you get the general gist. Alrighty, so get out and save that world.